Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. Except this week we are going to be doing mood reading. I have my Coke with me. Usually it's an Oli Pop. They didn't have any at the store, so I had to get regular Coke. Somehow just hit my step goal while sitting. Anyway, I've had a hyper fixation on this stack of basically a little soda with some pretzels and crushed ice. Like, are you kidding me? Obsessed. What I was gonna say is that I feel like I've been doing a lot of like, not necessarily TBR themed videos, but just videos where there's like some kind of a theme, right? So it's like, I guess 200 pages a day I could be mood reading with that, but just, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the vlogs I've been doing lately have very much kind of had more of a TBR than I would like. And so I've been craving mood reading. I have been mood reading. The last two books that I read, which you'll see in my, you probably have already seen it, it should be already up, but my March wrap up, I read Fates and Furies and I went straight into Shadows and Storms and was just loving those. And those are books 3 and 4 of The Legends of Thesmar by Helen Schurer, and I was just having so much fun with those that I had to go right into Iron and Embers, which is a offshoot of The Legends of Thesmar, and it's called The Ashes of Thesmar. So it kind of looks like that. Can you see it? Yeah, I don't have like a physical copy of this yet. I did order it, of course. You know me, gotta have the trophy for my shelf. But I did start this last night and I'm already like 21% in, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, chapter 22, 21%. So yep, we are already plugging right along. I think yesterday I ended up reading 430 pages, which is kind of a lot for me, especially with a fantasy book. I pretty much read Shadow and Storms like in one day. I just read a little bit the night before, but I pretty much finished that entire book yesterday and also got 20% into this one. So yeah, yesterday was a great reading day. Upon finishing that series, there were so many books that I kind of had floating around in my mind that I was like, oh, like you probably should pick up this because you keep saying you're going to and you haven't, or like you could pick up this or you could pick up that to get, you know, make a dent in my physical TBR, which is a huge goal of mine this year. But I was like, you know what? No. I am really in the mood right now for romantasy, and specifically I just am finally like so connected to the characters in The Legends of Thesmar, and I've been waiting for these characters' stories. If you know, you know, because these two characters are also in the main series. I've been waiting for their story and just loving every bit of them that I do get throughout the main series. So I was like, why wait when I'm in the mood for this right now? A concept. Wild, I know. Just actually reading what I want to read and having that be successful? Unheard of. That's what I'm reading. It is Monday now. Hold on. I hate when there's stuff like on my actual Kindle screen. But yeah, it is Monday at like, I don't know, 1 p.m. I have been working all morning. I have some client messages I gotta go answer. But other than that, we are going to sit here with my little snack and read until I have updates. I don't think I have much to like say, and I don't know that there is that much I can say because, like I said, you kind of have to read the entire Legends of Thesmar series to go into this one, because the events that take place in this one are not directly, but like they come after the events that happen in the Legends of Thesmar. So you do have to read those first before going into this newer series of hers. But I'm already loving it. Every chapter starts with like a little anecdote about like plants and potions and whatnot and what the story's about, and I love when books do that, give you just that little bit of extra something. Like I said, that's the update. If and when I have more to say, I will let you know. I have no idea what I'm gonna end up picking up after this in this video, so you're kind of along for the ride with me, because like I said, I just want to mood read. I'm really in the mood to mood read right now, not to like force myself to read anything. So that's the plan and we're sticking to it. it's now the next day and something exciting came in the mail today. My actual physical copy of Iron Embers. Guys, when I do this, I no longer have like long nails, so I don't know why I keep doing this because it doesn't even sound that good. Let's just disregard that. Yeah, this came in the mail today and I am so excited. It looks a little bit different, I feel like, from the copies I've seen. I got this off Amazon. I would love to not buy books off Amazon though, so if anybody got this somewhere else, I would love to know. I don't know why I feel like other people's copies look different. I could be just completely delusional. But yeah, I am about a little over 50% in. Also, how cute is this sword bookmark that I got on Etsy? Obsessed. I'm on chapter 42, so about page 273. I am still loving this, absolutely eating it up. It's very much a slow burn though. And like I said, you get snippets of these characters all throughout the Legends of Thesmar series, and they definitely have like tension between them, but yet a lot of like animosity, especially coming, well, mostly coming from our female main character. She very much just doesn't think that she sees any kind of relationship with him other than purely physical, which she has offered, and he has been like, no, that's not enough for me. And I love that. I always love a main male character who falls first or falls harder, and that's kind of the vibes that we're getting here. And it's not quite enemies to lovers, but it's very much like reluctant on her part. And again, I love that trope as well. It just creates a lot of really good tension. We've had a lot of steamy moments without anything actually happening. I think so far, and again, we're like 50% in, we've only had one scene of anything, and it hasn't been much. So I know that we're getting to the good stuff. I know that we are, because their tension, their chemistry is coming to a head. Like, you can tell they're both ready to explode, either in anger or in a moment of passion, if you will. And I cannot wait for that to actually happen. I'm also really loving the, pardon that is my ice maker. Anyway, hopefully you can't hear that. Hopefully you can hear me over that. But yeah, I'm really loving like the alchemy portion of this book. And like I said, just the little chapter headers where there's anecdotal, like little tidbits. Like for example, on this chapter, there's a little quote and it says, "From a study of accidental curses." So you get all these like textbook quotes and sometimes diary entries, handbooks, that kind of thing. I love that in a book. I also love the cute little pictures that are under each chapter. What else can I say about this? Again, I feel like I can't say all that much because you need to read the Legends of Thesmar series first. However, I'm really loving this. I'm loving the characters. I'm loving the character cameos that we get from, like, of the characters that are in Legends of Thesmar. And the setting is really fun. It is, I would say the plot is kind of slow at this point, so hoping that that picks up at some point, but it doesn't even matter because of how much I love the characters. The tension in like their budding romance that I know is eventually coming. I'm here for it. I'm sat, for lack of a better term. I genuinely, this whole book is slow. I don't even mind that much because I just love these two characters and their banter, and I want them to be together. I can't wait to see how that comes to fruition. I'm just having a really great time with this. I'm hoping to be able to read some more later today. I got a decent amount through yesterday. I think when I first picked up the camera, I was on page like 114, and then I read to 272 last night. So I definitely did a lot of reading. Didn't really show it. I'm planning to sit here after lunch. I gotta go eat something because I didn't even realize that it's like 12:30. I'm gonna go eat something, and then we're gonna hopefully get set up for some cozy reading and get a chunk of this book done today. Also, if I'm wearing the same outfit in this video as another video, I think my March wrap up, which should be up before this video, that's because I'm filming things kind of at the same time. So no, I'm not re-wearing clothes over and over and over, but that wouldn't matter anyway. That would be totally fine too. But how cute is this sweater? It's from, I think it's like from from Anthropologie. Free People, maybe? I don't know. But it's so cute and I got it secondhand. And I am obsessed with cozy sweaters. It's spring, but it's still very cold out here, especially today. So we have broken out the sweater once again. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna go. There's also a friendship being struck between our main female character and another girl, and I'm loving that because our FMC is very kind of like closed off, and she's been really bitter this whole entire time. She has a lot of trauma from the events of the previous series and everything that goes down, and so to see her actually putting in some effort and laughing with a friend, making a friend in general, is so nice to see. So I'm loving this. I am back with updates and good news. I have finished Iron and Embers. Yay! It's huge, so I'm really happy. It's like 637 pages. I think it took me like, I don't even know. I think I've been reading this since like Sunday. So 4 days? Not bad. That seems to be like my average lately with fantasy books that are about this size. Also, Amazon. I need to stop buying books from Amazon because they always come like, I don't know if you can tell, a little bit damaged. Like the cover, yeah, is a little bit whack. Anyway, that's a tangent. I finished this book. I landed on a 4.5 star rating, and I think I might have mentioned already in this vlog that pretty much however Helen was gonna do this with these characters, I was gonna be happy. I was just here to finally see these characters come together. I really just wanted their story all throughout the Legends of Thesmar series. So I just knew that I was just happy to be in this world with these characters. So yeah, I really did enjoy it. There are a couple things that I want to talk about at the end that kept it from being a 5 star for me. However, it's still up there. It's still a 4.5. There were a lot of things I really loved about this book. I will say that I do recommend going and reading Legends of Thesmar, the entire series first, before going into book 1 of The Ashes of Thesmar. Even though in her author's note, I think it says in the author's note that you can read these in like whatever order, like you can read this series before the other series and vice versa. I personally would read Legends of Thesmar first because I was so connected by the end of those 2 books that going into this book, I was just so here for it, right? So yeah, I definitely recommend doing that. Things I loved about this book. The romance. First and foremost, the romance. I have been, again, wanting these characters to get together for a really long time, and that's what this book is for, although it is like a very slow burn, which I'm a fan of. I love slow burn. I love getting that yearning and longing and tension between characters, which I feel like was done really well in this. Their banter and just, like I said, the tension was palpable. So I loved that because it made way for like really good steamy scenes. Obviously, I feel like spice is always better when you have that anticipation. So you get that in this book, as well as like kind of a dislike to lover situation, although I will say that's kind of one-sided, kind of like unrequited love, boy obsessed a bit. Well, kind of. You'd have to read it to understand what I'm saying. It kind of goes back and forth between, there's a lot of hurt. There's some hurt between these characters that prevents them from being together. Other things that I liked. I loved that there was a lot of alchemy and like the study of alchemy in this. I found that to be really fun. I loved it at the beginning of every chapter. Again, I think I mentioned this, but there's like a little anecdote from like different notes and observations and journals and textbooks and stuff. I always find that to be a fun little thing to add to a book, so loved that. I love that this is, for the most part, for the majority of the book, set in a university type setting. I always love academic settings, so you get that aspect. There's lots, especially at the end, there's just a lot of action happening, twists, turns, reveals, that kind of a thing. Love that as well. Now, the things that I didn't love as much that kind of prevented this from being a 5 star for me were, number one, first and foremost, there is a trope that is thrown in at the very end, of course, that I am not a fan of. And I'm not going to say what it is because obviously that will spoil things. So I'm not going to say what it is, just know that there is something that happens at the end that is just, that's how it makes me feel. And then number 2, you get a build-up throughout this whole entire book of this thing called the Gauntlet, which is basically this thing that the characters, the alchemists who are at this university have to go through, they have to pass to become next level of alchemist, which is called an adept. And so you're working towards this the entire time. It's like really been built up, and then I don't know, it felt like it kind of just went by kind of quickly. Like it was kind of rushed, kind of anticlimactic. Like yes, some big things happen during the gauntlet that you're like, wow, but at the same time it feels like you're going into another part of the gauntlet and then boom, it's over. And I was kind of confused. I had to like go back and read it a few times and be like, wait, what is going on here? So that part to me was a little whack. Seemed a little bit off, a little bit rushed maybe. Those couple of things did not stop me from devouring this book and really just, like I said, enjoying it. I was here for the romance, namely, and that is what I got. Minus the freaking thing at the end that I'm like, wow! That didn't happen. This probably would have been 5 stars. But regardless, the way that it ends does keep you hooked for the next book, which, as we all know, authors love to do that to us. They love to keep us on the hook. And that is what Helen has done, because I will be reading book 2, and July can't come soon enough. I believe book 2, I think it's called Thorns and Fire, comes out, according to Goodreads, I don't know, might change. As of right now, it says it's coming out July 31st of this year. So I'm very excited about that because I need to see what happens in the next book and how we're gonna move past this thing that happens. So anyway, that was super vague. The entire thing was a whole bunch of words and a whole lot of nothing, which you're welcome. Anyway, now that I have finished this and I've updated all my book journals, Goodreads, Notion, all of that, I think the next book that I want to pick up later this afternoon / tonight is Summer in the City by Alex Astor. This is one that we picked from my TBR jar prompts and like put on the April TBR, so that will be nice to knock it off the TBR. But also I kind of just feel like I'm in the mood for this, for one, because it's short, for two, to read like a contemporary romance, because I feel like I have read nothing but fantasy for the last, I don't know, feels like 3 weeks. Probably has been 3 weeks, to be honest, because I read the last 2 books in the Legends of Desmar and then went immediately into this one, and those are all like decent sized books. I am very excited for this. This is a contemporary romance, like I said, set in New York City. I think one of them, I don't know if both, but one at least is a billionaire. I think the female main character, Elle, yeah, she is a 27-year-old screenwriter. She has writer's block. In a desperate attempt to get inspiration, she ends up back in the city. And it sounds like she kind of has a run-in with billionaire bachelor Parker Warren, who she had a hookup with 2 years ago. So it's kind of going to be like a hate to love situation, forced proximity. Yeah, it says one summer, one wall apart. I don't know. This just sounds really good. The book itself, like the dust jackets, guys, I swear, so annoying. But anyway, the book itself is beautiful. The edges are beautiful, and obviously I judge books by their covers, so that makes me want to read this. I'm very excited. I did a lot of work this morning, and I'm trying to decide if I want to edit my March wrap up, like start editing that, even though that's on my list to do tomorrow. That's like my main task tomorrow, is to edit the March wrap up so I can get that up on Friday. But I could start it early, or I could read. This is my thing every single day. I'm like, okay, I could start my tomorrow tasks early, but I don't know. I think I kind of like leaving, like having a main task every day to do. So that's my main task for tomorrow. So I do think I'm going to possibly get cozy and read this. It's chilly out once again. I want to go kind of curl up, maybe get a snack, read this book. And I need to go charge my camera because it looks like it's about to die. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stop yapping your ear off and go do that. Hello. Please tell me why every time I go to film it's so gloomy. I have to actually put you like right on the windowsill in order for you to even see me, and it washes me completely out because I am pale as heck. But anyway, I'm back with reading updates. It is now, I think, next day. Like since I last talked to you, I think it's been just one day. But I did start, as you saw, I started Summer in the City and I'm now, I think, 98 pages in. Yep, so about 100 pages in, chapter 14, which is this little tiny amount here. And I am enjoying this so far. It is a cutie little contemporary romance. I really love the city setting and the fact that it's summer, because I am missing the sunshine in summer right now. Spring here is very, you get a couple nice days, like today's supposed to be like 70, but it's a lot of gloom and clouds and rain. And I'm not complaining because I know that those things are good, but I am getting spring fever, ready to be outside, ready for those like nicer months. Yeah, I was really in the mood for this because of that. I also love how the main character, Elle, in this book, she is working on like a screenplay. Like that's the whole purpose of her going back to New York City. She didn't really want to, but in order to get inspiration for her screenplay she's working on, she has to go to New York City and go to all these different main locations that the movie's going to be based on and filmed at or whatever. And so I love that portion. I love like she keeps like working in different coffee shops, and the way that she describes coffee in coffee shops is so perfect. Like if you are a coffee lover, you get it. These descriptions are visceral. You can smell the coffee shop, you can hear it, you feel like you're there. And there's just nothing better than being in a really cozy coffee shop and having a delicious iced coffee. For me, I always get iced. As a coffee lover, I'm really appreciating those like descriptions in here. And the romance we haven't really gotten very far with that yet. The characters do have an attraction between them, but because of the way that they first meet and they have a little moment like 2 years in the past that you get to see in the very first chapter. And he says some things to her that she is just like, excuse you? And definitely, I wouldn't say what he's saying to her is like overtly horrible, but it's definitely like insinuating that she is just interested in him for his money or whatever. And so she's like she does not take kindly to that. And so she holds this grudge on him for the 2 years that it's been since she's seen him. She moves into this apartment. Oh, hold on, my legs are killing me as usual. She moves into this apartment to take care of it for, I think it's like her sister or something. Really nice skyrise apartment. She gets there, and who is her neighbor? None other than Parker, the guy that she almost had a hookup with kind of situation. Are you kidding me? Really? And they kind of strike up a little deal. He's gonna help her with her screenplay, go to the locations with her, help her get some inspiration, and she's gonna be like his fake date for a bunch of events that he needs to go to, mainly because he's like, you're not interested in my money, you don't even like me, and so you're perfect. Like you're the perfect person to fake date for the summer. You can tell that he like actually likes her, whereas she's very much still holding on to that grudge. So that is making things really fun. I always love when there's that kind of like animosity between the two main characters, a little bit of dislike to love, hate to love, enemies to lovers. Those are all such fun tropes because it just creates great tension, great banter, and then when they do finally collide, you know there's gonna be sparks. So yeah, that was a lot of words. Honestly, I didn't know that I had that much to say already, but we're not, like I said, that far in. We're like 100 pages in, although this book is just under 300. So yeah, we're like a third in. There are definitely some, as is the case with most contemporary romance, there are definitely a lot of like pop culture modern day references. And those can sometimes be a little bit cringe to me, but it also doesn't bother me that much. Like she's already talked about Taylor Swift in here and Twilight, and I get it because I also love Twilight, but sometimes if there's like too many references, I'm like, but I would say so far this one's not too bad in that department. I've definitely read ones where it's like a lot of pop culture references. But anyway, no, the setting of this is so fun. I just really needed something lighthearted and fluffy like this right now after coming off of like a million fantasy reads. Also, why am I getting grease on literally every single book? Do you ever notice, like when you're holding any book really, that you're getting fingerprints on it? Oh, that drives me nuts. I need to go take a walk soon. It does look like it might rain though, so I'm like, but it's gonna be 70 degrees soon, so I really want to go outside and enjoy it. Maybe sit on the porch with a little snack after my walk and read. That's the plan as of right now. So yeah, those are the updates. Good morning, or good afternoon actually, because I think it's, yeah, it's noon. I have reading updates. I did indeed finish Summer in the City by Alex Astor last night. I ended up ripping right through this because the writing is very easy, very simplistic, like short sentences, which sometimes can come off a little bit choppy, but I actually liked the writing style in this, and so let's go over everything. First and foremost, overall, I want to say that this was cute. I loved the setting, being in New York City in the summer. Those two things are both really great, and then you put them together and they become even better. And like I think I already mentioned in one of the previous clips, I really liked her descriptions of like modern day things and like coffee shops, especially as a coffee lover myself. I literally could like smell the coffee, taste the coffee, loved that part of it. I also, like I said, the writing was very simple and almost kind of like the main character, because this is first person point of view, you're in Elle's head. It was almost like she was writing in like a journal or something. I kept coming back to that and feeling like that's kind of how the writing was, and I kind of really liked that because it makes it addictive. It makes it really easy to fly through. Like I was just devouring it, but at the same time, this book started out really good. I was really vibing with it, okay? The first half was really good, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a 4-star or like a high 4-star. And then we get past the midpoint and things started to go downhill for me. And I wanna go over those things and kind of explain. So first of all, I ended up rating this book 3 stars, and here's why. There's a bunch of things that bothered me. Number 1, Elle, our main female character. I don't usually like to hate on female main characters. However, she just felt very like inconsistent to me. For example, one second she would be hating Parker, which that's kind of like her whole thing, right? The whole plot point behind this is that she dislikes him after their little encounter that they had, right? So yeah, one second she hates him with everything she has, and in the next second she's like, oh, I kind of want to know more about him, or she's like defending him to other people or wanting to defend him to other people. And this kind of yo-yoing of Elle's feelings happened so many times in this book. I can't even describe to you. And so because of that, it really felt like there wasn't much character growth from Elle specifically. Even at the very, very end, I still found her like being in her head. She was still kind of like doing the same self-doubts and kind of going through the same mental patterns that she has been throughout this whole book, and like doubting Parker and just kind of like shutting down when things got hard and running away. And I did not like that. So first and foremost, Elle, I had some issues with her, consulting my notes to make sure that I, as you guys know, remember everything. But that was like first and foremost the main thing. She was also kind of like unfairly mean to Parker. I don't know, Parker kept trying to do all these nice things for her just to see her smile, which I thought was sweet. And she would like kind of acknowledge that it was sweet, but then the very next second she would be like, no, absolutely not. If you're buying things from me and you're trying to buy my love, like you don't understand me at all. And then she would like run away. And that seemed to happen so many times that I was like getting really frustrated with her, especially in the latter half. I'm like, girl, I get it. I really do, that you don't want a man to take care of you. That's awesome. But like, cut him a little bit of slack. Like, I don't know. That was kind of annoying me. I liked Parker. I liked our main male character. Although I will say, I do think he could have kind of stood up for himself a little bit more with Elle and her being so judgmental of him. I think that if he had kind of been like, hey, let's act like adults here. Yes, I have a big company and I make my own money, but like if they had just had a conversation like that instead of him always completely giving into her and being like, I'll do whatever you want. Basically, I'll sell my private jet and I'll do this and I don't know. That part got a little bit like ridiculous to me. I was like, okay, like let's just have a conversation here, right? So anyway, I for the most part liked Parker, but there was a couple things I probably could have done without. But Elle really annoyed me. The other main thing, because I don't want to like completely hate on this book, but the other like main thing that bothered me was the third act breakup situation. We all know him, we all hate him. Well, this book seems to have multiple second act, third act, whatever you want to call it, breakups, and like you finally think that progress is being made, and then it's like, oh no, never mind. Elle's gonna go and do the exact same thing that she's been doing, and that really ticked me off, especially towards the end, because it's like, I'm like, at one point, I think we had, I don't even know, 20 pages left, maybe less, and she still was in that same exact headspace, like no character growth. And I was like, how are we gonna rectify this in the next, 20 pages or whatever it was. So yeah, multiple third act breakups, that's a no for me, dog. Anyway, all of this to say, would I recommend this? If you think the synopsis sounds good, or you just want to read a book that's set in summer in New York City, then maybe pick it up. I don't ever want my opinions to put somebody off of picking up a book, because even if it's not my cup of tea, it might be somebody else's like favorite book. So, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. If this sounds good to you, interesting, try it out for yourself. I always say try it out for yourself. I myself sometimes will read reviews and kind of base my opinions of like whether or not I'm going to pick that book up off of that. But I kind of want to stop doing that, because there's lots of times when people have not really liked books and then I've loved them. So again, take my opinions with a grain of salt. Go pick this up if you want to, if it sounds interesting to you, but it definitely wasn't my favorite. So I did land on like a 3-star. I don't know, I might end up bumping it even down. I'm gonna have to really think on it, because I don't usually rate books like 2 stars unless I like really dislike it. Well, no, 1 star is if I really dislike it. 2 star is like meh, it does nothing for me. But like I said, for the first half of this book, I was vibing with it. So that's why I think we're gonna sit at like a 3 stars, just like solid 3 stars. But yeah, I did have a lot of issues with it towards the end. I am happy I read it. It was very short. It was really nice to be able to read something that I could rip through in basically a day and a half, and probably could have done it in one day had I had more reading time. That's that. I really don't know what I want to go into next. I should try to tackle my April TBR and like read a book off of that, but I'm looking at it right now and like none of them are really calling to me, and this whole point of this vlog right now is to mood read, because I feel like I don't often let myself just like read whatever I want. I always kind of have this idea in my head of like, oh, this is kind of what I should or want to read, you know, in this month, in this week, whatever. So in the spirit of mood reading, I tentatively downloaded Kiss the Basilisk. I don't know if you know anything about this book, but I recently heard Laura. I don't know what her actual channel name is. I'll try to leave it here. But Laura recently read this in one of her vlogs and it really intrigued me. Apparently it's like super spicy, like beyond spicy. And I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm in the mood for that right now. Just very like unserious, spicy vibes, but like make it not contemporary romance. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe this other than I think she said it's kind of like these girls go to this school to get trained to seduce like the, or to like please the, I don't know if it's like a basilisk king. There's something about basilisks in here too. I don't know. I really know nothing about this. And the author's note in here says that it's best to go in with no prior knowledge. So girls training, it's gonna be very spicy. You can tell just from that little bit of knowledge that it's gonna be a mainly spice-based book probably. So we'll see if this is what I end up reading next and how I feel about it. But I will try to keep you guys updated. That is the plan. It's Friday. Most of my work I did this morning and I want to go for a walk. I want to eat some lunch and then hopefully sit down and relax. So yeah, anyway, that's the plan. Those are the reading updates. Welcome to another day of my reading vlog. It's now been a couple days. It's now Sunday and I do have some reading updates for you guys. But before we get into that, I have a haul. My bestie and I went shopping yesterday, literally all day. Left the house at like 7:30 in the morning, didn't get home till 6:30, almost 7 at night. So we were gone literally all day, but I have a smorgasbord of things for you as usual when it comes to my hauls. I have books, I have some bits and bobs, some random things, and I have clothes. So, and this one's gonna be a little different. Usually I feel like all my hauls are TJ Maxx and Barnes, and this one I went to a mall, so there's some fun stuff. Coffee is absolutely necessary today. What do I want to start with? Let's just start with like the most boring thing that I got first, which is I used this Moroccan oil hair oil and I ran out of it. I had a sample that I literally had for like 4 years. It lasted that long and it was like yay big, and so I finally needed a replacement of it. It smells amazing, by the way, and makes my hair so silky smooth and soft. So yeah, the Moroccan oil treatment, I think it's just like the original one. I know they have a light one as well, but I like this one a lot, so I had to get a refill of this. The next thing, okay, I went to Von Maur and I did damage. Please tell me why. Tell me why I always knew of Von Maur, but like I never had really looked around, and they have the cutest stuff ever. So anyway, before I get into the clothes, they had jelly cats, okay? They had jelly cats, and guess which one I got? Are you serious? He's a raindrop. I'm obsessed with him. He is going to, I don't know where he's gonna live on my bookshelf yet, but he is going to live on my bookshelf, and it's the cutest thing ever. I couldn't resist. Are you kidding? Anyway, that was a random thing that was not on my list at all. And then clothing wise, was kind of just looking for, mainly I wanted like a cute, long, floral type of skirt, because I don't really have a lot of skirts. I've been really liking long dresses and skirts lately. And so that's pretty much all I went in for. And then I proceeded to try on like 50 things. Luckily I didn't leave with all 50 things, but I still did get quite a bit. So let's go through it. I got a beautiful dress. I'm probably gonna have to stand up, I feel like, to show you this, but it's really pretty. The brand is Angie. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to stand up. And also don't mind that I'm wearing my Sunday outfit of sweatpants. This is the dress. Hopefully you can see it. But like, I don't know, the bottom is so beautiful. It's really pretty on, so maybe one day when I'm wearing it, I'll be able to show you guys, but it's so pretty. And again, I've been loving girlier things lately, long dresses, things like that, so I had to get this. The first thing I tried on was these pants, and they looked amazing, and so I had to get them, even though they were kind of expensive, because I'm pretty sure BDG is like an Urban Outfitters brand, right? Yeah, it is. Look at these cloth pants. They're full-length pants, they are low-rise, they're cloth, they almost feel kind of linen-esque, but a little bit thicker, I would say. They have pockets in the back, pockets in the front, a waist tie, so they fit perfectly. The little BDG emblem here. And these looked so good. If I remember when I'm editing, I'll try to put a picture of like when I tried them on, but obsessed with these, can't wait to wear them. Also keep in mind, a lot of this I'm going to be bringing to Florida with me. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I am going to Florida end of April, so I'm going to be bringing some of this for sure. So I got those really cute pants. And then the skirt that I ended up getting, it's so cute. It's kind of like mid-length. Yeah, it's kind of like mid-length. It has a little bit of a slit in it, which I love. It's just so beautiful. This with like a cute like what tank top, white anything, would be so cute. And you can wear it like a little more high-rise or low-rise, and either way it looked really cute. So can't wait to wear this either. I'll definitely be bringing this to Florida. And then last but not least, again, not on my radar at all. Last summer I was on the hunt for pretty much exactly what I found, and that is like the red checkered boxer shorts or whatever. I feel like those are super trendy, and last summer they were sold out everywhere, couldn't find them. So I did find them in the BDG brand. This was a large, all they had was large, and I was like, oh no, this is not gonna fit me. But surprisingly enough, like they did fit pretty well, and if I roll them down, they looked perfect. So I did get these red checkered boxer shorts, and of course a matching sweatshirt, because they were like on the same table and matched perfectly and looked so cute together. And it just says, ta-da. So like picture this with these shorts. I'm sure at some point you guys will see me in this outfit because it was so cute. This with some white sneakers is everything. And I will say, like, Von Maur's a little expensive. I probably spent a little too much on a couple of these items. But you know when you find something that's absolutely perfect to like the vision that you have in your head, sometimes you don't want to keep looking for something different, because even if you find a cheaper version, it's not going to be like exactly the way you want it. And all of these pieces were exactly what I was picturing. They fit perfect. Everything was perfect. So anyway, yeah, I got a really, as you can see, pretty big haul from Von Maur, and I did some damage. And now I need to chill the heck out on clothing shopping. So if you see me buying more clothes, no you didn't. Anyway, that is my Von Maur haul and the little thing I got from Sephora. And then one of the main things I went to the mall for is I wanted a new pair of sunglasses. I haven't bought a new pair of nice sunglasses in a really long time. And I actually saw Sarah Crowley try these on, and that's kind of what like solidified me wanting them, because they looked so cute. I don't know the style name, I'd have to like look it up, but they're like trendier, skinnier sunglasses. I will show you. I am in love with them. And they only had, I didn't see them anywhere in the store, but when I asked, they found them like behind a door in the back. They weren't even out yet, that's how new they were. She had only one pair in the color that I wanted, so obviously I had to get them. Are you ready? I love them. I feel like the only sunglasses I've ever had or bought are like the big ones, and then I also have like the classic Ray-Bans with like the gold on top, or like the gold wiring with like the plastic on top, if you know what I'm talking about. But these, when I'm a little bit tan, like obviously I'm so pale right now, but picture me with a little bit of tan. And these, I'm so excited. I'm definitely bringing these to Florida with me. But yeah, I had to have those, and I did have these on my list. And then last but definitely not least, I do have a book haul. I got, none of these were really like on my list to get, but I got 4 books. I ended up getting physical copies of The Right Move and Play Along because, for one, these are the only 2 that the store had, and I've been wanting to get these for my bookshelves, and also Play Along is probably like my favorite book from the series, and The Right Move is another one of my favorites from the series. So I was like, okay, they only have these 2, so I'll get these for now, and eventually I will get book 3. I'm not getting book 1 because I didn't like book 1. So, and then I will also get Rewind It Back eventually, probably, hopefully, too. So yeah, these I've already read, so I'm not adding to my physical TBR, which felt really nice. But like, how nice did the spines look? They're gonna look so good all together. So I got those, and then I ended up, again, this was not on my radar at all, like right now, but I ended up picking up The Fragile Threads of Power because as I started to read like the synopsis and stuff, I didn't realize that this book was set in the same world with some of the same characters as the Darker Shades of Magic trilogy, which you might know if you've seen some of my most recent vlogs that I recently read that entire trilogy and I loved it. The 3rd book I gave 5 stars, but the whole series is really a 5 stars. So yeah, when I found out that this was in that same world, I had to get it, obviously. And also, look at the deckled edges. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, there you go. I love deckled edges. I know that not everyone likes deckled edges because something about it like makes it hard to find the page or something. I've always loved them. The texture, the look, it just gives the book such a nice old kind of feel. I don't know. I'm obsessed. So anyway, I can't wait to read this. Don't know when I will get to it, but I did buy this. And then last but not least, the workers, like 3 different workers came up to me and they were like, because they saw me looking at A Tempest of Tea, and they were like, if you liked that one, you need to come see this one and check it out. And it's also like the Barnes & Noble monthly pick. And I read the back and it sounds really good. So that is The Revenant Games by, I can't read it because the sticker's in the way, Margie Fuston or something? I don't know. Oh, Margie Fuston. Anyway, The Revenant Games, apparently this is like, also look how pretty that is. Apparently this is witches, vampires, it's YA, and there's some kind of like once a year games. So it's giving, you know, it's giving that age-old trope of some type of trial or games or whatever, and I feel like I always pretty much enjoy that. So I did decide to pick this up, and she was like, if you do decide to get this, just let them know that I sent you and that you can get 50% off of it, because this was on the 50% off, buy one get one 50% off table, but none of my other ones were. She was like, we'll give it to you anyway. So I was like, well, now I have to get it because now it's only gonna be like $6. So anyway, this was not on my radar at all, but I'm actually really intrigued to read this one. So yeah, I am adding 2 books to my actual physical TBR, and luckily the other 2 I've already read. But that is my haul. Pretty big haul, honestly. Like I said, I spent way too much, so I need to like chill out. But it was a great day. It was a really great day, and sometimes you just need some retail therapy, and that's exactly what it was. We had an amazing day. Reading updates. So I think the last time I talked to you guys, I was reading Kiss of the Basilisk. That's this book. I was reading Kiss of the Basilisk, and I got on Friday, yeah, on Friday, I got up to about 30-ish%, 35% maybe, and I decided to DNF this. I don't know if you guys know really what this is about. I kind of briefly mentioned it, but the entire plot is very sex-based, which is like, I knew that going in, and I was in the mood for something spicy, so I was like, okay, something bingeable and spicy and easy, that sounds great. I just didn't realize that literally the entire plot is based on smut, because the whole premise is that these young girls in this village are like trained to please the prince and then hopefully get chosen to be his wife. And that kind of just, I don't know. I don't want to ick anybody's yum, but it did ick me out a little bit. And then also, like, the female main character is kind of, not kind of, but she is very inconsistent. She's bullied all her life, so she talks about, or like thinks a lot in her head, of like how sad she is that she's been bullied and kind of like, woe is me. But then on the other hand, out of left field, she'll just say like the most confident shit ever. And I'm like, wait, which one is it? Are you confident? Are you not? Like, I don't know. Her character is a little bit inconsistent, and that's kind of what Laura was saying too, from Laura Homebody. I think I already mentioned her in this vlog, and that's kind of why I was gonna read this book. I was like, oh, she enjoyed it, but she did mention those things. So I did kind of go in knowing that, but I just found myself even by 30% just like not caring. I did not care about the plot. I did not care about the characters. So that usually to me is a good sign that it's kind of going to be like a waste of my time to continue reading it, because I'm not going to care either way. So I did DNF this at 35%. I don't know what page number that is because I don't have a physical copy, but, and then I wasn't really sure at all what to pick up next, but last night after I got back from shopping, I wanted to do a little bit of reading. So I did end up picking up My Funny Demon Valentine by Aurora Asher, and this one I kind of went in completely blind, but what I've gathered so far, I am about 75 pages in, and what I've gathered so far is that this is about, there's like 4 brothers. It literally starts out in the very first page with these 4 brothers walking into a nightclub. You have Ash, which is short for Asmodeus. You have Bel, which is short for Belial. Meph, which is short for Mephistopheles. And then Rom, and I can't remember what his full name is. But anyway, there's these 4 brothers. As you can tell by their names, they are demons. And they come to Earth. They're not supposed to, but they come to Earth, and they're just trying to, like, I don't know if they're trying to have fun or hide or what. I haven't really gathered that yet. They are hiding now because they're not supposed to be on Earth, and like humans aren't supposed to know about them. And Ash has this curse placed on him that like most anyone who would be attracted to him like can't really be attracted to him. They kind of just look over him. He's not invisible, but kind of in a way he's become invisible to people, and a lot of his senses are like really dulled down, and that's kind of all I know about that at this point. But he meets at the nightclub this girl Ava and realizes that not only can she see him, but she's interested in him, attracted to him, all of these things. So he's obviously very excited about that because he's gone centuries, or however, I think he's thousands of years old, I don't know, but he's gone like centuries without anybody being actually interested in him or attracted to him because of his curse. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I am liking this. It is like funny, and I just wanted something fun and light and easy, and that is definitely what this is. However, the characters get together too soon for me. As you know, as you might know, if you've been here a little while, I really like slow burns, and this is not that at all. Like I said, I'm like 75 pages in, and they've already kind of gotten together. So now I'm like, okay, where are we gonna go from here? So we'll see. But this is what I am currently reading. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be recording this vlog, so if I end up ending it tomorrow, I will let you know like how far I've gotten and if I have any updated thoughts. But I don't know, who knows where this vlog will go at this point. But this is what I am currently reading, and I do plan to read a little bit more today. I'm doing a lot of chores and, you know, all the fun Sunday stuff. But that's the reading update, that's the haul, and yeah, I'm gonna get my stuff done so I can actually sit down and relax. have no idea what the last thing I said to you guys was about this book, but we're gonna talk about it now because I have now, between the last clip and, sorry, there's like dust all over my book. Between the last clip, which I filmed yesterday, and today, which is like Monday afternoon, I haven't read any yet today, but last night I read to page 240, chapter 21. So, you know, getting close, making a dent. And I am liking this a lot more, I feel like, than I let on. Although I will say the last check-in that I did about this book, everything I said still stands, because in the first, I don't even know, 75 pages or whatever it was that I read in that first sitting, I was liking it, but I wasn't obsessed, especially because the two main characters get together so quickly. And I even thought around that point, around like the 75 to 100 page mark, I was thinking about DNFing it, which would have been so sad, I feel like, to DNF two books in this video. It is what it is though, you gotta do what you gotta do. However, I kept reading and the plot kind of started picking up, kind of started developing from that like 100 page mark on, I would say. And I started to like this a lot more. Like I said, this follows, this book specifically follows Ash, but also his brothers are in this a lot too. So I'm assuming the next books are going to be following his brothers, which is kind of exciting and fun. I love interconnected standalone series. This is paranormal romance, so the four brothers are like demons, but it's kind of like done in a really funny way. And it almost reminds me of Good Omens. Not the writing by any means, it's very simple writing. It's definitely not on like the level of Good Omens, but just like kind of the concept and just having demons in it in general reminds me a little bit of that, like with the humor and stuff. Which, Good Omens, by the way, I freaking love that book. Me, every time I turn a camera on and I just can't remember anything. The one thing I was going to say that I think is going to keep this being from like a high rating is the dialogue does feel kind of cringy sometimes. It's like blunt, which isn't always a bad thing, but blunt, and like the way that it's done in this, like I said, it does kind of like cringe me out sometimes, like the verbiage that they're using and just the way that they talk to each other. I think the dialogue could have been done better, but for what it is, I think it is just a silly, goofy, fun time. Very easy to read. Like, I will start reading and next thing I know, I've read like 100 pages easily. So if you're looking for something paranormal, spicy, fun, not serious, can rip through it, I think this is a good one for sure. So that's the update. I got myself my favorite snack, a little bowl of pretzels. I was gonna have an Olipop because I have mini ones, which I didn't realize that Target has mini Olipops. Love that. But I was like, you know what? I kind of want to save my Olipop of the day for dinner. I'm gonna be making cheeseburger bowls, and so I feel like having an Olipop with that sounds really good. So anyway, I'm gonna get to reading. I think I actually need to charge my camera, so if there's no B-roll of me reading this right now, that's why. But I'm gonna go get to the reading now. Hello, good morning. We are back to do a wrap-up of everything that I ended up reading in this vlog. I think the last time I talked to you guys, I was still reading this one, My Funny Demon Valentine. I did since finish it. I finished it yesterday, and so I'm not going to say too much else about this. I'm just going to include it in the wrap-up. So we started this vlog off reading Iron and Embers by Helen Schurer. I was already a little bit of the way into this, I believe, when I started this vlog, but we did finish this and I ended up rating it 4.5 stars, I believe. I believe it was 4.5. And I really enjoyed this, specifically because when reading Legends of Thesmar, like I said, you get little snippets of these characters throughout, and I just wanted their story so bad. So it almost didn't matter how it played out. I just like kind of wanted to be with these characters. This one was a really fun time. I loved the alchemy aspect of it. I loved getting the character cameos that you get from the characters that are in Legends of Thesmar. And like I said, if you are interested in this series, I would definitely pick up Legends of Thesmar first, because then obviously going into this book with the secondary characters being now the main characters, I feel like you will feel much more connected to them and the story, because you'll have all the history, all of the lore from the previous series. So yeah, this was really fun. The romance was really good. This one specifically was much more of a slow burn, which is very much my speed, as we all know. Basically, I really liked this, and I highly recommend the Legends of Thesmar series. And yeah, great time, 4.5 stars. And then after that, we picked up Summer in the City by Alex Astor, which is this cutie little short book. And to recap, I rated this 3 stars, and that's because the whole first half, I was like, oh yeah, I like this, I'm vibing with it. I like the writing and the setting specifically. It felt very, very girly, and I don't know, I love that sometimes in books. And it was also like kind of fun being in the main character's head for the first half, because she was kind of like funny and sarcastic and, you know, that kind of character. But then the second half started to really lose me. As I mentioned, I just feel like it was unnecessary to have multiple third act breakups, that kind of situation. Just the back and forth between these characters started to get a little bit like annoying. Mainly our main character, Elle. Mainly she was annoying me, which I guess makes sense because it's first person point of view, but you only get Elle's POV, you don't get Parker's. And I don't know, I really think that I do typically tend to enjoy dual point of view romances more. I feel like I get a deeper connection and understanding of their relationship when I can see both sides of it. I can be in both of their heads. And I don't know, I just felt kind of bad for Parker throughout this because he was trying so hard. And yes, maybe he was kind of going about it the wrong way, especially after finding out how she feels about, you know, other people using their money to try to like buy her or like win her love or whatever. Like the first time, yeah, it's like, okay, I get why she would be upset, but then there's something that happens that I thought was just a really sweet gesture, and she just doesn't take it very well. And I don't know, I just got like, I just found myself getting progressively more and more annoyed with her from like the halfway point to the end. So it went from being like a high 4 stars when I first started the book to a 3 stars. So I still enjoyed it for most of it. It just had a few things that really kind of threw me off. So yeah, 3 stars. Kiss of the Basilisk on Kindle, and I am glad that I picked it up on Kindle because I ended up DNFing this. I DNF'd this around 35%, I think, and that is because this entire book is basically smut-based, which I knew that going in, and I thought I was in the mood for that, but I just found myself not caring. And this is what happens to me with a lot of books that are more smut than plot, is that I just find myself not caring, you know? It's like, okay, we're doing this again. Cool. I'm kind of over it. The other thing about this one is that the female main character, you're in her head, she was really kind of annoying me because, and I've heard this from other people too, she's inconsistent. Her character is inconsistent. She's bullied all her life, and so she has that like, that sob story, that woe is me, timid moments and moments of self-doubt. But then on the other hand, out of the blue, she will say some wild shit or be like really confident all of a sudden, and I'm like, okay, which one is it? Are you confident and you're forward and you know what you want? Or are you timid and you are self-conscious? And it just kind of wasn't adding up. So the character inconsistency, these young girls be in this like sexual training program to like please and be chosen by the prince. Not my thing. I safely can say that's not my thing. And also, this was a bit of a love triangle, and I'm not the biggest fan of love triangles either. So anyway, would I recommend this? No. Unless you just want something that's all smut-based. Again, if it sounds good to you, if that's something that you do enjoy, then pick it up, figure out for yourself whether you like it or not. But personally, if we have similar reading tastes, I would say don't bother. And then we went into, and I don't rate DNFs for obvious reasons. Like, I didn't finish the book, you know, so I'm not gonna rate it. Also, I'm back to wearing a turtleneck sweater because winter has decided to make itself known again. It's like 30 degrees out and snowing. Love that. Not really. So then the last book we picked up in this vlog is My Funny Demon Valentine by Aurora Asher. And this was cute. This one's spicy as well. It follows demons, but specifically Ash, introduced to Ash and his 3 demon brothers, and they're kind of hiding out on Earth. They're sick of hell. They're kind of evolving from being evil demons to having kind of like developing more like human emotions and wanting more for themselves, which I think that premise is really cute. I think this was a pretty like unique paranormal romance. I haven't really read anything like this, I feel like, with like demons and humor and modern day. Like I said in a previous clip, it does kind of remind me of like the premise or like the atmosphere, I guess you could say, of like Good Omens, but completely different because obviously this is romance and like spice and stuff. He's a demon and he can switch back and forth from like his human form to his 7-foot tall, red-skinned, horned guy. So that's why this is paranormal. LOL at me explaining what paranormal is. But yeah, no, this was fun. The one thing, I ended up rating this 3 stars. The only thing that kept this from being a little bit higher rating was that the dialogue to me felt very cringy sometimes. I don't know. I mean, it was like blunt, straightforward dialogue, which isn't bad in and of itself, but I just felt like the way they were talking to each other and the things that they were saying were sometimes just super cringy. So that kind of prevented it from being higher. And again, it was, I don't know, just it was a silly, goofy, fun time, which is, you know, I knew that pretty much going in. I wasn't feeling super connected to the characters, like the main characters or anything like that. However, I am excited because I know there's more books coming out in this series, and I know there is another one out right now. I am excited. I want Belial's story. I don't know if and when we're gonna get that, but I would like to read his book. It was fun. What can I say? Fun, silly, nothing serious. 3 stars. So anyway, that is everything that we read in this video. I finished 3 books and DNF'd 1 as well. So pretty successful reading week, even though, you know, we had some couple middle of the road reads. It wasn't all 5 stars, you know, like some previous vlogs have been, but that's okay. Not every book can be a banger. But anyway, yeah, that is it for my week of mood reading. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I would love to know what you guys are reading, and also if you're a mood reader like me, do you like set TBRs and stick to them, or do you kind of go with the mood and just pick as you go? I've been really in a mood reading mood lately, so I've just been kind of riding that wave. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I would love if you could leave the little city emoji, either nighttime or during the day. City emoji for summer in the city. Hope you guys are having a great morning or day or evening or whatever time it is for you that you're watching this, and thank you so much for being here. As always, my bookstagram is linked in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support me if you do enjoy these kinds of videos. I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye!